Hello, hello, hello. My name is Fiona. Pronouns are she, her. And this is Too Long Didn't Read Tabletop RPG Streams, in which I take an hour or two to read through an RPG that has caught my eye, whether it is from the bookshelf of doom or from the Google Drive of ancient mystical archives. Hello, Kieran. Hello, my friend. Thank you so much, by the way, for recommending the Discord to the person in the realms thing. Because I saw it in the middle of the night. I woke up, I had like an anxiety dream. I saw it. I was like, that's really nice. Went back to bed and stuff, and never answered it. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. That warms my heart, and it was a very nice comment to get as well. But yes, welcome to the accountability stream of the week. Hope you folks are doing well at home. I hear it's quite warm in the UK. I mean, I say that where I am just now, it is 31 degrees Celsius. And it's just always warm. All hail the heat dome, as it is. But it's been okay. I'm just trying to get up into the groove of stuff, and we've got quite an exciting week happening. I will say at the top of the stream, I'm probably going to have to move Friday's stream, just because I've got some administration appointments. And my partner, bless him, he's working from home as well. I don't want to disturb him as I go, oh, look at this thing, when he's on some calls and stuff like that, because we do share an office. So I might move it to another day next week. I can't even remember what we're supposed to be doing on Friday, but it was a fun one. I mean, look, I'm just gonna look now. It's the woods at Light Hollow. Yes, so we'll probably look at that maybe next Wednesday. I'll have a double check on that. Okay? But welcome to this stream, and I'm gonna just get right into it because I need to be on it today. I've got stuff to do, friends. I'm busy today, friends. We're going to be looking at the latest sort of like offering from Parable Games, one of my favorite UK-based TTRPG game group. They're the guys behind Shiver, the horror RPG, which again I think I have covered on this channel before. If not, I will definitely put it on because it's one of my favorite games. Actually, again, sort of behind the scenes here, so I've been slowly doing some home decor stuff, and I finally got my dice collection all displayed out, and I actually have my Shiver dice to one side of me. You can see how, which they are there. I put them in little spice rack things, which is quite nice. Anyway, sorry. So they've done Shiver. They've also done the solo RPG called Don't Play This Game, which we played on this channel as a sort of testing out solo things. Went all right, I think, as a stream. Just rubbish for audio when I listen back to it, but that's okay. We learn these things. But we're going to look at the latest solo TTRPG called Iron Heart, a solo mech exploration TTRPG stream. And as always, at the beginning of this particular, not just this stream, but all accountability streams where we're reading things aloud, some disclaimers. One, I am not a game designer. Haha. I run What Am I Rolling and the DM's Book Club and a whole host of other games and actual plays and stuff like that. So I've run a lot of games, both been a player and a GM. I've also done lots of solo games as sort of like in my own spare time, but I've not actually designed stuff. So all the stuff I'm saying, it's something that excites me from a player or a GM point of view rather than a games designer point of view. But I do think I've got some things to say, but always take them with a pinch of salt. Obviously not sponsored by Parable Games. I'm a big fan of their work at the Mendez Brothers. I think they're great. I think the artwork is brilliant. Look over there, I can see my Shiver Gothic, the alt cover, staring at me going, why haven't you played me yet? And I go, huh. But I highly recommend going checking out their stuff. I think they've got something for everyone. If you are into horror, obviously please go check out the stuff. They've had their new Parable starter sets finally released into the world, so I'd recommend checking those out. But equally, if you're not necessarily into horror, then maybe this is something for you as well. Certainly the art style and the illustration is. But I am not sponsored by them or anything like that. I just think they are good folks. And then finally, we're going to look at accessibility at this sort of thing. And again, I'm not an accessibility expert either. Again, I don't know what this game is really, other than like I know I've managed to get a quick preview of it thanks to the backer kit, and you can get your own quick start edition if you follow the link I've put in the show notes, the video description, and in the chat. So you can get your own thing. All you have to do is just sign up to their to receive notifications of their backer kit when it comes out, and then you get a free quick start, which is what we're going to be looking at today. Because the full thing is not going to be out for a little while, so we're going to just look at the quick start. And again, content warnings. Again, as they come up, I assume it's going to be about mechs in space. So I don't necessarily perceive it to be a horror or anything like that. But you know, you never know these sort of things. So just take care of yourselves as we go. All right, with all that out of the way, let's start. Let's as always, what I do with these streams, I always go and look what you can find out about the game, like what the copy is, what the marketing is, and then we go dive into the game itself. I do try on this channel to give a fair view of stuff. as forward of like what I noticed, stuff like that. And equally, if you're watching this, please do feel free to comment on the videos or comment in the chat if you're watching live about your opinions and stuff as well. Because I do think that's very important. Because I don't see everything and I don't I don't see everything. I miss certain things, and I really like it when other people chime in as well, because it actually helps me see other points of view and stuff like that. So I'm always up for that. So please, 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 setting that expectation that do correct me if I get pronunciations wrong or if I've missed something very important. I'm always up for that. Right, let's get right into it. I'm going to go over to get away from big Fiona face to smaller Fiona face, and so this is what you can see on the back here. I will say, again, not that it's like I don't know. I've never experienced this before, but when I signed up, I signed it up ages ago, and then when I went to go and like share the screen, it just takes me straight away because it registers that I have signed up, and so it takes me to the Google Drive. So this is actually on a incognito tab just to share stuff. But I think that's just something with BackerKit as well. So just a thought, perhaps if using BackerKit, if you wanted to share it for streaming and stuff like that, maybe have it as an incognito browser, etc. But yeah, here you go. First of all, I really love like the pastel colors, of like the idea of like space and sort of like looking up the stars. I have also these pinks and blues and purplies. I don't really get that sort of stuff when you think of like mechs. I definitely think of like the Lancer like blue and like the Salvage Union sort of like Haynes manual guide stuff. So it feels much softer and a sort of not a lot gentler. I think I really love the title, the title font and sort of the iron heart and little stars. I think that's super cute. I really like it. So yeah, so explore the galaxy with your mech best friend in Ironheart. I mean, I always mention them every so often, but like whenever I think of like best friends in space, I always think of Backwater Bastards because they've got a great podcast, which is just basically if it's Guardians of the Galaxy, but the heroes just want to go and get caught up and stuff, but they just want to go out to eat. That's literally it. I really like that. And they've recently released this has expanded a little bit from before, which is really good because I'm like, and obviously it's only 20 more days until it goes live. But like, what a great cover! I really like it. I love the oranges and the two moons at the back there. Oh, and that blue, it just looks so good. Kieran says, I also like the colour scheme as well. It really fits the vibe of explore with your mech best friend. It really does. It reminds me of Iron Giant in a way, except if Iron Giant was also very greys and stuff like that. I just feel like it just feels more magical, feels more like inspirational, hopeful. I've said it before on this channel, and it also fits the lo-fi brief. Absolutely, yeah, lo-fi. That is exactly what it says. It says it here, doesn't it? Lo-fi. I am loath to mention wizards at all, but one thing I will say, what I really enjoy about they're releasing lots of videos just now about like the player's handbook, all you need to know. But I actually quite enjoy when they talk about the art and like the philosophy behind the art and stuff like that. And so I always wonder that sort of thing really interests me, especially when you've got like when I interview game designers. Normally I interview about like why should we get your game, like what inspired you, etc. I think because the art we've talked about before, the art and the copy can really sell a game. Like, what's the inspiration? Why did they go for these sort of colors? Because I really love it, but why is it to stand out from the other sort of mech solo games? You know, so yeah, maybe it's supposed to be more like a variety of audiences rather than say Salvage Union or Lancer, a particular type of audience that goes for those games. So we have it here. Ironheart is a lo-fi solo mech TTRPG. Create your own worlds to explore and journal the experiences of you and your mech throughout the galaxy. Teach your mech's AI brain, the ion core, what it means to be alive. Ooh, lovely. Again, just thinking about it, I feel lots of like Becky Chamber vibes. I know I keep mentioning Becky Chambers' books, the Wayfarer's books, but she has done like a new series called A Psalm for a few. I can't remember. And it's just this idea of a tea merchant that's going from town to town to town, like listening to people's problems, going, that sounds really bad, and then making them a cup of tea, which I'm like, I would love to have that job. But it also involves like robots who have separated from humankind and go about their way and haven't been seen in many years. And so that's what it reminds me of, that sort of like feelings, the vibes of it. So greetings, pilot. Yep, already in. Welcome to the Astral Union. After years of war has ravaged the galaxy, the AU Federation has brought peace. Fighting forces of various factions took the advantage of pioneering mech technology, piloting giant robots into battle, many powered by their human-bonded AI systems, the Ion cool. Oh, a little bit of Pacific Rim kind of things as well, I guess. Oh, look at these rams. They're so cute. A mech and their pilot are watching over their flock. Oh, right. Now the war is over and people have returned to their normal lives to live alongside their trusted mech companions. But with no wars to fight, what place is there for a giant robot in a peaceful universe? Explore, make friends, and bond with your giant mechanical buddy. Help their iron core learn what it means to exist in a world where conflict isn't the center of everything and transforms it into an iron heart. Wow, I love that. Look at that. Oh, look at that spread. All the blues and the peachy pinks. Gorgeous. Oh, love that. Let's have a quick look through it. Oh, man. That is gorgeous. I love the colours. And already I can tell from the, the spread as well. It is sort of spread out and there's not too much text on each page. So it's maybe easier to read as well, so you're not overloaded with information. It looks like, certainly from this particular spread, it looks like it will make up, like, we're using all the space. You know, so we talked about this before, about the white space in books. Sometimes it's just left there. You're like, oh, you could have put something there, perhaps. An example spread. Eurovon pilot. Oh, I love this. Yeah. Oh, they fit the brief so well. And there you go. That's all we can get from that art. So, yeah. I think that's enough. Again, it's a nice, short, simple brief. I think the pictures are very good. I will say, as always, I don't know if it's a backer kit thing, to be fair. There's no alt text that comes up. So I am quite glad that they've put in, like, the text in between and stuff. But it would have been nice, again, if they could, if they know they can't put in alt text to, like, the cover and stuff like that, but have a bit more information, like a caption saying, what it is, etc. Just because, what if this page hadn't loaded with any of the images, you know? I know that sounds like obvious, but, like, there are people who don't have very good Wi-Fi, or they're watching on their phone and stuff like that, and, images break, videos don't load, etc. So I always think that you should always have a text copy and just description of something. Like, this is perfectly fine, but then I would be like, this sort of, a mech and the pilot watch over their flock. Then I would say stuff like, it is a almost like a pencil drawing with pink highlights. So maybe a little bit more description there. So there you go. Already, I'm quite excited by it, and yeah, again, it's not a particular, like, I'm a big fan of solo games, but mech stuff in general doesn't interest me, and I've just never been that sort of person. But maybe now's the time to change it. All right, let us say goodbye to Chrome and hello to the actual book itself. So yeah, so this is the quick start. So basically, if you follow that backer kit, sign up to the email, you should get an email within a couple of seconds saying thank you, or it just switches over to the actual Google file, which you can download, and this is what you get. So what we're going to look at today, she says, trying to find it. So this is the, like I said, the quick start. It's roughly about 48 pages, which is quite a bit. I suspect we're not going to get much in terms of, like, a scenario to play through. It feels like with solo RPGs, we sort of generate them ourselves, so there might be lots of tables, which is exciting. And similarly, we've got a character sheet that you can also download as well, which is form fillable. Hooray! Which I'm always a big fan of. It's a nice clean one as well, and you can see here the appearance and stuff. So you've obviously got a separate pilot thing at the top, so that's you, and then a mech thing at the bottom. And you can add your own pictures in, which is nice. Whether you're someone that draws, or maybe you use an image creator of some sort. We won't go into AI generation just here, but again, the option is there should you wish to use it. I don't endorse it, but it's nice and readable. Look at that, yeah, text readable as well. Oh, I do like that we can click on and off and stuff like that. And it's just one page. Simple, clean. I mean, I wouldn't mind a little bit of decoration around it, perhaps, but I think what we need it for this looks good. I will say that Q is not capitalized. Everything else is capitalized. That's such a small thing, I know, but you do notice it when you've worked on courses for like 10 years. All right, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. It's such a gorgeous... It's just so nice, isn't it? Again, I'm sure they've done it before, Parallel Games with Shiver. They do have posters and art prints of stuff. I kind of hope that they do this the same for Ironheart. And again, I appreciate we've not got... backer kit's not out yet, so we don't know what other additional rewards could be. But I kind of hope that it is just like I said, posters, maybe pin. I could do a nice little pin would be quite nice here, I think. But yeah, anything else, well, until we read it, we won't know, will we? But I love the little details here, like the sort of stripes on it. It's gorgeous. But yeah, unfortunately, no alt text. Can't win them all, can you? Okay, so it's written by Ben Alexander and Charlie Lopez. Ben Alexander. So Ben Alexander is actually the graphic designer, the illustrator for Shiver, and also is the graphic person here. And I don't believe, has written on Shiver or Don't Play This Game. And Barney is the sort of the main guy who runs the company, etc. And then Charlie is the sort of the main writer doing the sort of Shiver. I mean, they all work well. That's really cool, actually, that Ben Alexander has gone from the illustrator and gone to creator. So I'm very excited. And they've got little special thanks at the Born D&D group and everyone who has come to chat at conventions. Thanks for listening to me talk about mech anime too much and your support and encouragement. Oh, that's so sweet. Contents. Oh, look at this. How lovely. Oh, we've got acknowledgements as well. I was going to say Colossal must be must be one here. So we've got an introduction, character creation, which takes up a good chunk of this, playing the game, exploration, combat, enemies, and story circuits. Oh, so we do maybe get something here as well. All right, well, we'll go for as much as we can. Acknowledgements. So Ironheart has been inspired by books, films, and games, and other pieces of fiction. So I was going to say Colossal, 100%. I can see Colossal's influencer here. Lasers and Feelings. Oh, okay, so that might be the actual game system itself. There we go. Sorry, I pointed at the screen. The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. There, Becky Chambers. I knew it. Bloody knew it. That's awesome. Flavor Girls, Escape the Dark Castle, Cosmonites. Very cool. And then we've got some anime stuff there. Oh, Mass Effect as well. I guess so. Yeah. All right, I'm going to zoom in a little bit so we can. Oh, I can see there's 2 columns. It's fine. I love the simple like lines here, and boxes. It's like, see, you can do boxes, and it's very simple. All right, let's take a drink, and we'll get started. In the far future, in a galaxy not so far away, war has waged amongst the stars for many years. But now there is peace, and the once mighty mechanized armies are disbanded. Their pilots are disparate and searching for purpose. There are always adventures to be had, battles to be fought, and peace to be protected, all from the pilot seats of your very own mech. What life will you lead amongst the stars of the Astral Union? What is Ironheart? So Ironheart is a solo role-playing game about exploring new worlds whilst piloting large robotic machines called mechs. You develop stories and record them in your writing journal using 6-sided dice, here referred to as a D6, to randomize your encounters and resolve the challenges they put forward. By rolling dice, you will navigate new worlds through a series of prompts, ranging from assisting locals with minor problems and worries to battling mechs in daring battles. These prompts will ask you to make dice rolls, complete challenges, and write about your experiences in your pilot's logbook to record your story. First, you'll need to create your pilot, the character you will play as using prompts. To suggest their origins and goals. Next, you will construct a mech, your constant companion, transportation and protection throughout your adventure in the many worlds of Astral Union. I will say, the text, again, I know I've had to zoom in a little bit, and not as much as I would normally have to. So the text, I quite like the font they've used for it as well. It's nice and friendly. I also quite like how they've done, like, again, keeping that peachy pink, like, bold capitalization of the thing. What is Ironheart? Right. Ooh, we've gone to blue. Okay. All right. So playing Ironheart. The Ironheart is a tabletop role-playing game where you inhabit the dual roles of a pilot and their large mechanical companion and protector, the mech. Together, you'll explore a post-war universe, helping those in need, uncovering mysteries, and growing as friends, forging an unbreakable bond through adventure. What do you need to play? You need 5 or more 6-sided die or D6s, a character sheet, a pencil, or something to type on, and a journal and note. Hello, hi, Dead Toothbrush. Hi, Dan. How you doing, my friend? How you doing? How's life treating you? Is it quite warm where you are? It's bloody warm here, I can tell you. Kieran says, I think the biggest difference for me is the line spacing. It doesn't feel cramped, which makes it much easier to read. Yes, it does feel like they've deliberately separated out, and so there's a lot of information here, but it doesn't feel too crammed in, and you can read it at your own pace. It definitely is easy to read, for sure. So what is a solo RPG? Solo role-playing game of sci-fi adventure and friendship. For those who have not played a solo RPG before, they are a personal adventure game for one person to play, deciding on the outcome of everything that happens in a story of your own making. In Ironheart, you play as a pilot and their mech as they explore galaxies together. It's warm, but it's all good. Off to see the UK Euros match later. Oh, fantastic! Are you what? This is where my brain does not go. Are you going to the match, or are you just watching it in the local? Because I've seen bits of it. I hear England's not doing great, which does not surprise me. This game is intended to be played by one person who describes their pilot and their mech's journey using a journal in sessions of 15 to 45 minutes each. This book provides the framework for creating and guiding your character through the world. Once you have a character, the game will provide the gameplay and prompts to fuel your adventures. You'll be writing these down in your pilot's logbook, the personal journey of your story. The beauty of solo role-playing games is that you create your own story and have control over what your characters do. Oh, missed the capitalization there. If something doesn't work or there isn't an obvious solution, you can create your own way forward. There is no limits to what can happen, only your imagination. Just gonna watch at the local pub. Oh well, have a Guinness for me for sure. Who's playing? As if I should know these things. I really don't. It's weird not being part of the action anymore of the of football. Writing a logbook entry. So the core gameplay of Ironheart will require you to record your journey in your pilot's logbook as a journal entry. This happens every time you face a unique encounter or story moment in your journey, including arriving on a planet, discovering a settlement, a story circuit section, okay, a combat, and traveling encounters. Nice. One thing I will say, I'm just going to zoom out a little bit, so it goes to blue here. Like I imagine they've changed the background to blue for like ease of read, but also to show that this is like indicating some important information. I will say, printing that sort of stuff, it's probably going to be a lot of ink. Not that they print the quick start, but it'll be interesting to see, like, in the full book, is it just going to be the black on sort of like creamy white, or are they going to have bits where it's like blue on white? Just something I always think about is like, how much ink does it use? Like, it's very beautiful. Don't get me wrong, I really like it. It makes me think of blueprints. Cool. Let's see. So, if you have an idea or the way the story can expand outside these set events, make sure to write it as a journal entry too. Letting the world and the mechanics of the game inspire your own story is part of the fun. There are many things to think about when writing an entry. Your character's personality, motivations, and experiences will colour everything you write. They can be as short or as long as you like. However, how you record your adventures is up to you. Here's an example of a journal entry for you to take a look at. Great, we won't look at it. We'll look at it, but we'll not read it. So we've got planet, the date, time, and the journal entry. Because one thing I think as well, like, obviously for this game, it's a solo game. It's maybe it's meant for you to write stuff down. But for me, sci-fi, and it's because I've been watching Lower Decks recently. I like the idea of like recording out loud your captain's log, etc. So your pilot's log. I feel like it could easily be an audio only format. UK versus Slovenia. All right. Well, ooh, because it's knockout stages, right? So, best of luck, or not. And then ion core temperament. It's quite cool as well. So yeah, there's an easy way to separate things out as well. Okay, and then straight on to making a check. So this is on page 7. Nice. Although we've gone to white and blue, my eyes. Making a check. You'll often be required to roll a single die to see if your characters are successful in completing a check, a difficult action referred to as a check. For most dice rolls, a result showing the numbers of 4 or more, described as a 4+, will be successful. The same principles apply in combat situations where you need to successfully land or deflect attacks, so see more about combat later. Sometimes your pilot or mech will fail to do something, but this is to be expected. We all experience failure, but do not be disheartened by it. Think about how these little moments of misfortune play out and describe the events unfolding in your journal. Or England rather, not UK. Silly me. Oh, we'll have them in the comments. Oh, well. Oh, best of luck, Slovenia. I'm sure it'll be a good match. And I'm glad you're going out to the pub for it. That sounds fun. The exploration loop. So we recommend when playing Ironheart to follow the order of actions set out below, referred to here as a loop. So first of all, we build a planet. So roll on the table to determine the planet's biome, name it, and describe it in your journal as you arrive. Build a settlement. Roll up a settlement to arrive in. This settlement will have a space for some size of where you and your mech can make planetfall and depart from to move on to another planet. Start a story. Oh my gosh. Start a story circuit. Head to the settlement hall to start a story circuit. Play through the story circuit. Each time you travel between story circuit encounters and settlements, roll for a traveling encounter. Then after you complete a story circuit, return to the settlement. Find a new settlement, explore whilst traveling between settlements, start a new story circuit, or move to another planet. Note that all starting settlements on a planet should also have a spaceport of some size where you and your mech can make planetfall, depart from to move to another planet. Anyways, hope you're good and here to listen to your review of this book. Oh, thank you, Dan. I very much appreciate it. Kieran says, I almost always use audio logs when playing solo RPGs, mostly because I find speaking out loud a lot easier than writing. Yeah, I agree. That's something I've been doing with Where. It's like I try and speak aloud, but then I have to make notes afterwards. I go, oh, God, I've got to write down everything I said. And I agree, the blue on white is a bit difficult to focus. My eyes keep wanting to look elsewhere. I think a slightly darker blue would be easier. Yeah, I think so. I mean, to be fair as well, I do think like I've used dark mode for lots of things. So whenever I read a PDF with like sort of thin font like this, I do find I have to concentrate quite hard on it as well. So again, it's different to like a screen like this, but like if you've got your iPad as well, I'm sure you can change it. I always do think like, would it be better to have, in terms of accessibility, like text only versions of stuff obviously is I think an easy thing for people to do, just remove all the art from it. It's not the nicest thing to do because I think like the art for this, and we've talked about it before, like Eat the Reich and all that sort of thing, that has some really cool art in it. But if you provide a text version, a text only version, a black and white version, I think that's very important for accountability, and I think accessibility, and that can be done. Whereas here, I think I don't know. I think there's that sort of thing where you can have contrasting colors as well. So you have like yellow on black to make it easier to read. I don't know if you would have that. Maybe that's one too far, something like this. But I always used to use when I used Teams. There was always like alternative contrasting colors. I used to use that a lot, and that was so much better on my eyes. People were like, "Wow, you've got a really funky Teams." I was like, I just can't stand normal Teams. I don't think anyone can. So story circuit. So Ironheart uses a gameplay mechanic called the story circuit, which helps you map out narrative arcs for your character to investigate. You can partake in as many or as few of these as you wish, and you may wish to end your quest if your pilot's goal has been achieved, or continue for as long as you have a story to tell. For this condensed version of Ironheart, the story circuit is currently simplified and will expand with more story circuits in the full game. Okay, that's good to know. Good to know off the top. Right, we'll go to the Astral Union. So this game is set in the far future in an interstellar conglomerate of cultures known as the Astral Union, or the AU. Through sustained diplomatic efforts, the vast systems have been forged into a near-utopian federation where peace reigns. Thick-haired Eurvons trade wares with mighty constructor forges with cold-blooded vases merchants. Proud Kiva navigators guide freight ships piloted by Apollonian. Apollo deck crews. People from every culture mingle and live along one another in a vast expanse of peaceful planets. So it feels very Star Trek, doesn't it? Would have liked a pronunciation guide. Thinking about contrasting colours, perhaps layout designers could benefit from consulting with a oh gosh, you've got me now. Dyslexia friendliness expert. Yeah, I always agree, and definitely like as long as like the colors, because that's the problem as well. I know there's all different kinds of color blindness as well. So as long as all the important things, if they're highlighted the way they're not highlighted in red or green, it's something else. But yeah, definitely. I think because we always think like, who would you consult on a project? Sensitivity consultant. Yeah, I think an accessibility person, and a dyslexic friendliness expert. Absolutely, good shout. Technological marvels have spread through the stars with spatial translation snapshots binding together the planetary systems of the AU. Artificial intelligence programs are used in the day-to-day running of the interstellar bureaucracy. Mass-produced piloted machines called mechs are used for everything from agriculture gathering, courier services, and construction contracts. These machines have their own AI system which bonds to their pilot, learns from them, and will protect them in dangerous situations where they can become injured or compromised. This system is the heart and brain of the mech, known as the Iron Core. The days of the oh, the days of calamitous wars waged by legions of battle mechs are long gone. Many of the towering machines now retrofitted to help build rather than destroy. But small bands of pilots still operate as mercenaries, adventurers, and peacekeepers on the fringes. At the dangerous and ungoverned edges of the Astral Union, colonialists, yes, frequently settle new worlds. People travel from every culture, species, and background to begin new lives here with fresh hopes of a peaceful existence. You are an adventuring pilot whose story begins as you touch down on one of these worlds alongside your trusted mech. There was a game called Planetfall, right? And it had Matt Mercer in it, I think, in the second one. I vaguely remember. Alright, so mechs. Initially developed as an industrial machines unit by the League of UVO for mine clearance and construction purposes, mechs were first weaponized for combat use during the war between the Yuvon and the Kiev. Those dark days are long gone, and mechs have now become the standard form of land vehicles in the AU. Mechs design templates are distributed and licensed by large corporations, although the independent modification and construction is common as weapons of war are turned into machines of peace. Most settlements of any size will have at least one mech workshop to carry out repairs or build new parts. Some mechs are passed down as hereditary heirlooms from one generation of a family to another, whilst inevitably receiving small upgrades here or there along the way. After the war, decades before your story begins, the AU was rocked by an extra galactical invasion by an unknowable strand of fleets of the Nephilim Colossi? Nephilim Colossi. The invasion was beaten back, but fragments of the original invasion force, as well as the individual Nephilim, still exist in the far-flung reaches of the AU. The war supercharged mech technological advances which continue to pay dividends in peacetime since. Innovations included advanced anti-gravity thrusters, self-repairing internal systems, and there's a gap there, sustainable perpetual motor drivers. Whoa. Kieran says, I think another example of accessibility needs being different in print versus digital media. Sorry. And I think this is another example of accessibility needs being different in print versus digital media. The light brew is really easy to focus on in print, and some dyslexia-friendly editions of the book use a colour very similar for a reason, but obviously that's no longer the case on a screen. Wow, I've lost all my words today. That's a very good point. I hadn't thought of that as well. And also, I do think like when you see stuff on a screen, obviously depending on the kind of monitors you have as well, and then when it's printed, it often is a lot darker, or it often changes a little bit through print. So it does look different because obviously you're using natural light rather than the light of the screen. So yeah, I think it's interesting. But again, do people want to pay for different? Like, would it cost a lot more to create like a contrasting version of it in a print? Probably. I think, unfortunately, even though it's going to be the same content, which you shouldn't be paying more for an accessible guide to something. Um, but yeah, just a thought. Okay, so the Iron Core. The Iron Core system was developed by the Kive War against the Urvon. Urvon. Urvon, yeah. As a way of increasing the pilot's reaction times. The Kive are renowned for their study of latent psionic potential in all sapient beings. And it is believed that this is what helped them develop the mind-machine connection known as the sync bond. In the new peacetime, Iron Core technology has yielded huge societal benefits. Precision and dexterity of sync bonded mechs massively increased the speed of construction projects as well as the efficiency of disaster relief. Ion cores tended to be installed in advanced mech suits and only interact with pilots who can interface with them correctly. The Ion Core itself is an advanced AI system that shifts and grows over time and will inevitably develop new habits, idiosyncrasies, and some say have a personality of their own. I mean, yeah, for me, what comes to my mind a little bit here, and maybe this is not the vibe it's going for, but Baymax from Big Hero 6. I recently saw a video, I think it must have been like Disneyland, Florida, you know, when you have the cast of characters that come out and stuff, and they had someone that was in like a Baymax suit, and it looked so good. Like, the eyes were moving, the body movements were really good. I just thought, wow, the person's not being paid nearly enough. So, right, so that's the first chapter done. We're going to go on to character creation. So, you play Ironheart from the perspective of a pilot and their mech, which is very similar a little bit to Salvage Union, where you have both a pilot and then I think a predetermined mech that you can choose and change rather than making your own. So you must generate profiles for both, and these will be filled on a single character sheet. The pilots and mechs will each have a number of stats. There's a little bit of a gap there, but I guess it's because it's justified. That act as modifiers for the roles made in the game. See below. These all start at 0 but are altered by your pilot's temperament, mech's weight class, and leveling up for your experiences. Your pilot and mech share the sync bond stat, which determines how often you can safely engage the Iron Core or use heroic actions per day. Let's see, where is that? Doesn't say, where was that sync? Was it called sync bond stat? That's where I'm gonna it's gonna be right in the middle of it. I guess here. Yeah. Okay. So we have, looking at the pilot, we have pilot body, pilot presence, mech brawn, mech reflexes, which we've got pilot temperament, pilot presence, pilot body, mech brawn, mech. Okay, so it's on the right hand side. Interesting. I don't know. Again, sorry. Where are my words? So obviously in Western cultures we read left to right. So often that's why you find all the stats for something on the left hand side. So if you think like in D&D character sheets, all the stuff is on the left or at the top left, and then you work like left to right. So I do find it's interesting that they've got the main stats, as it were, so pilot's presence and body, brawn and reflex, all the way over here on the right. But maybe, I don't know, they're trying to give, you've got a bit of space to do stuff here. I wonder again if we actually change this character sheet to be landscape, how it's split down the middle, maybe they'd have a bit more room for stuff and then change it around. It's just a thing I was thinking of there. I think actually, yeah, I think like a character sheet in landscape would work really well for this rather than in portrait. So it makes me feel like, oh yeah, you're going to look at the pilot first. I mean, I guess again, if you're reading left to right, you're going to have the pilot probably on the left hand side as well. But I don't know, maybe it's just the way I would put it like that. So they're both on an equal level, so to speak. So pilot body, so this is your pilot's physical strength, dexterity, and resilience. This will determine your pilot's physical aptitude whenever they exit the mech. Pilot's presence, so this is your mental fortitude and reasoning skills. You'll use this in and out of the mech when schmoozing, negotiating, solving puzzles, or anything that's requiring mental processing. Mech brawn, so this is your mech strength and toughness. Larger, more imposing mechs will generally have a greater brawn, which will be used to hit harder in combat and or carry out feats of strength. And then we've got mech reflex, so this is your speed and agility as the mech. Lighter weight machines will have higher reflex, allowing them to quickly take initiative in fights and run rings around people. Good. So, pilot creation. Your pilot is the character whose story you will explore through this adventure. We've repeated it several times, so I don't mind this so much. But again, I have a feeling that this book is aiming at a lot of people, a lot of different audiences, maybe younger audience, maybe people who haven't played stellar role-playing games before. So I think whilst the concept is very simple, I don't mind it being repeated several times. But I think if people are like, oh, we've said this so many times, it's like, yeah, I know. I'm only 11 pages into it as well. But yeah, just thinking about that out loud because it's such a simple concept, but maybe I would copy edit it down a little bit so it's not as repetitive. But it's just a thought. They have travelled to the rim of the AU for a reason, seemingly destined for extraordinary things and willing to brave dangers that others might not. When exploring the world, they will largely be inside their mech, but will exit it when appropriate. To begin creating your pilot, you will need to generate their characteristics using the tables on the following pages. All those random tables. You can roll for each table a d6 and select the corresponding result, or select whichever one you wish. You can even create your own bespoke characters if you wish. Excellent. Alright, well, why don't I get some dice out? We can have a quick roll together. Get my alien dice out. Because they are just here. So I've got a d6. Alright, let's have a go. Oh, nice. Oh, I like this. It's a table that is quite big and lots of. I've got these nice images. You know what? I did completely check. I completely didn't check. No alt text, unfortunately. But look at this. You get like little images of or depictions of the different kinds of origins, which is pretty cool. I like that. Oh, we've got some like alien species as well. Again, Becky Chambers always comes back to Becky Chambers. I love that. All right, the AU is a federation of different sentient species, each with their own cultural practices and modes of communication. So we have Apollonean, Varses, Yurvon, Chiros, Kiva, and Monar. Monar? Yes. Very cool. Right, let's have a roll. Oh, I got a 1. That's so typical. So humans from the Apollo Theta system, home to the Federation of Apollo. They are a new addition to the AU and a partner of growing importance despite early conflict with the Varsis. The Apolloneans harvest the power of their sun to power their machines. Apollo makes sense as a sun god, yeah. And then the Varsis, reptilian inhabitants of the Varsis triarchy, one of 3 original council signatories of the Astral Union. They hold the largest territory of any AU partner. The Varsis are cold-blooded and require thick clothing and heating mech interiors for colder climes. The Yurvon are towering bear-like mammals from the League of Yurvo. The League is an origin point of mech development, originally created as heavy mining equipment, but weaponized for early border clashes with the Kirvayan prefecture. Chiros are winged nocturnal citizens of the Chiros Expanse. The heroic actions of there's another space there. Chiros interceptor squadrons played a decisive role in turning away the Strand's fleets of the Nephilim Colossi during the Emergence catastrophe. Chiros are capable of short-range. Then we have the Kyove, large Centaurian beings from the Kyoverian prefecture. The Kyove adapted early UVO combat mechs to implement the semi-sentient iron core systems for an edge in battle. Although all sentient species have a potential to develop psionics, the Kyove have a particular reputation for manifesting them. And then finally, the feline Monar uh, collective is renowned for exceptional envoys and their diplomatic force to have prevented many a burgeoning local conflict before it starts. Monastic pilots have an excellent hearing and eyesight. Oh, another gap there. Their reflexes in combat being near unmatched. Nice. Okay, so a nice range of like alien species, and alien lineages. That's quite. I like it. I like that. Again, a lot to go on, and only six. Only six. So that's quite good. Kieran says, I think part of why I like the colours so much is the way they are applied. There's quite a waxy appearance to them, which I like a lot. Yeah, it reminds me of I know it's not exactly the same, so apologies, but like in Borderlands they had that cell shading thing. And I think that always worked quite well. So I like the highlights of the colours, like being like this is a shadow, etc. for here. So I know it's not the same as cell shading, but yeah. Alright, pilot goal. So what is the pilot trying to achieve in this far from settled AU space? Has a traumatic event driven them from their home, or have they been sent to fulfill an ancient prophecy? You can tell interesting stories with the character's temperament conflict with their goals. Okay, so we've got another d6. I'm going to roll it again. So we've got 1, 2, venture forth, 3, 4, return home, 5, 6, escape past. Oh, there are 2. Oh, so we're just going to read them all in order. That's great. So your pilot may have grown up in a small town, but dreamt big, or simply wanted to see the wider universe. They're driven by a desire to explore and collect new and exciting memories. Return home, maybe you've been exiled from your clan or have escaped an unjust imprisonment and just wish to travel home. You might be building up enough credits for interstellar travel or gathering evidence to clear your name in order to return home without a penalty on your head. And then finally, escape the past. Escape past. Your pilot's home may have been destroyed in a calamity by natural disasters, raiders, or jealous rivals. Maybe they have a dark past that they are still running from. Nice, simple, straightforward. Like, here's 3 examples. You don't need loads of stuff for it. And again, you can easily make up your own as well. And then pilot's temperament. So who is your pilot, especially when they step out of the mech? This is how your character composes themselves and interacts with the world on a day-to-day basis. You've got outgoing, reflective, and mercurial. Great word, mercurial. Another bloody 2, so it's outgoing. Oh, this is quite cool. So you get extroverted and at your best when it's around others. You love forging new connections with new people. You get +1 to your pilot presence as a result. Reflective means you prefer to keep to yourself and think carefully before committing to anything. It's a +3 to max mech shielding. And then finally, mercurial. You make things up as you go along. The rules are more like guidelines to you. Reroll first failed initiative roll. Reroll first fail initiative roll per day. Right. Yes, I know what it means. Oh, this is the spread it's talking about before. Oh no, it's just 1 page. But now going on to the mech. How great is that? The colours. So good. Alright, building your mech. That's it for creating characters. Your pilot. Nice, easy, straightforward. So you're building your mech. Mechs are typically built from constructor templates licensed by corporation manufacturers, but experienced pilots inevitably customize. Perpetual motor drives provide a constant battery charge using the mech's own movement, giving them almost limitless power supply. Your mech will be your pilot's transport, weapon, and constant companion in your story. Mechs act as walking and flying tanks in combat situations. Their sturdy shielding deflects incoming attacks, whilst robust weapon mounts allow for an impressive array of high-powered ordnance. To begin constructing your mech, you will need to generate their characteristics using the tables across the following pages. So, mech weight class and system. So mech comes with Mechs come in light, medium, and heavy classes. Lights prioritize speed over durability. Heavies combine thick armor with powerful weapons, and medium class strike a balance between the two. Your mech weight class will establish your starting mech shielding as well as your brawn and reflect modifiers. Roll a d6 on the following tables and select pre-generated preferred results to generate your mech. Unless otherwise stated, all mechs have an inbuilt light. Okay, so each mech has 3 main systems for handling combat situations: ranged weapons, melee weapons, and an auxiliary system. A mech starts with one of each, which you can roll for, see on the next page, and you can build a mech with no weapons at all if you wish to embrace a more peaceful playstyle. Well, that's pretty good. I like this one. It's sort of like centaur type combatant. So we have +1 range offense system, so a variety of missile weaponry for handling threats at a distance. +1 melee offensive system, an arsenal of short-range weapons allowing you to get close and personal, and then an auxiliary system, secondary enhancements that aid in conflict situations. Starts with one of each. So we start with one of each when we... Okay. And then by roles, we've got the weight class. We've got light, medium, and heavy, split up into the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we've got, as it goes across there, so it gives us all the stuff here. Fantastic. So finally, something that's not a 2. We went for a medium, so we've got the mech shielding, we've got 40. Nothing for the mech reflex, nothing for the mech rolls, and no pluses there. And then attacks we have 3. Everyone has attacks 3. That's good. Was there any stats for I missed something. Oh, I guess we got +1 present, but was there any stats for earlier? No, there wasn't, was there? They all start at 0. Oh, it can be... I see. So all our stats as a pilot are at 0. I was going to say, obviously, if we have them tied to the pilot origin, that could be quite... Again, it comes into that sort of gameplay of like, oh, well, I want to play this character because I get a plus whatever at the origin. They all start at 0, but then your temperament can change it. And then your mech weight class can change it. Perfect. I understand that. Could have done with that repeated several times. Okay, so we've got melee offensive systems, range offensive systems, and then auxiliary systems. So let's just read through. Number 4. So for melee, we've got Power Blade, which is damage 4 plus a d6. Add +1 to hit with this weapon when in melee, the melee step of combat. Nice. Ranged systems? Bloody 1. Auto Blaster, which is damage +3, 3 plus d6. You may make a free attack with this weapon when in range, when in the range step of combat. All right. And then auxiliary systems, we have 1 for each of these. So it's not split up into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is... Oh wait a minute. That should be a 2, surely. That's a 4 there. Oh dear, we'll find out. I did get a 4, so maybe I get both. A servo balancer, so reroll 2 failed disengage rolls per combat. Nice. Okay. Feels very customizable, doesn't it? Okay, mech specialization. So the Astral Union has been at peace for decades since the defeat of the Nephilim, ending the desire for mechs with purely mechanical applications, or military applications. Many older battle mechs were reconfigured to suit civilian usage, and newer templates were created with a mind to help build a better world. Your mech has programming and physical adaptations to allow it to be helpful to citizens of the AU. When your pilot leaves the mech, if you wish, it will happily revert to its specialization and go about peacefully helping out in which way it sees fit. Oh, that's quite cool. So what we've got? We've got a shepherd, harvester, and bridge builder. 5, finally. A bridge builder. So the mech will volunteer its help to any local construction efforts, or will begin building small shelters and bridges for travelers. He's like, stop it, we've got plenty. But we've got shepherd, so the mech will care for local animals, helping them cross streams and generally fussing over them. And then harvester assists in gently tilting the land and gathering produce, or sustainably harvesting and breaking down natural materials for a nearby settlement. Nice. 3 examples, straightforward. Again, maybe it's a bit more simplified for the quick start. I think that's all right. This offers a great bonding opportunities for pilots and mechs. If the pilot is inside the mech and the two work together to pass a check related to the mech specialization, you gain a temporary sync bond point. Which is you put it here. Nice. For example, the pilot and mech with the harvester specialization passes a brawn check to break apart a fallen log that has another mech trapped below it. No context. Alright, so character leveling. Oh, so we go up to level 10. Okay. So every time you complete a successful story circuit, your character may increase their level by 1. You begin your adventure at level 1. So here we go. So okay, nice. I think for this, I know it's because of this image. That's what they've done here. I think 1 to 5, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 should it should be more of a. Maybe it should be more of a table, perhaps. Again, just on my eyes, a little bit weird. And maybe, yeah, start at level. So you start off with 2 sync 1 points, total of defenses 2. Oh, so, yep, number of attacks being fine. And then you gain some more as you go. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I can understand. You get all the way up to, is it 6? 6? Iron core, sync bonds, yeah. Oh, we've got a summary sheet. Amazing. So, name, origin, current level, which is here. Well, that's quite good. Again, this is the thing. I'm sure on the other side we'll have an actual copy of the character sheet. We'll find out. We do. Look at that. All right, let's see. Oh no, I can't bloody see it. Damn it. I've ruined it. I've ruined it. Sorry, I've ruined it. Oh, it's. Oh gosh. Nice. And look, I can add little drawings as well. I will say, again, I know you don't have to put. I always do think it is quite nice when there is a space for pronouns. Again, it doesn't matter if because some people don't want to share pronouns, and that's okay, so they don't have it. But I do always think when I see it in a character sheet, I'm like, it makes me think of it. So I obviously the only thing I would suggest with the character sheet, I mean, like I said, maybe rearranging it a little bit, but I think pronouns would be quite good. I love the mech name of Purple Mist there. That's quite cute. And it's nice to have a full example of a character sheet. And if I zoom in a little bit, yeah, it's not, and yeah, it works, and it's not pixelated or anything like that. So they've actually done their work on the actual thing, so you can actually read it as well, which is really good. I really like that. Good job, guys. All right. Controlling your pilot. So when playing Ironheart, your time will be split between controlling your pilot in and out of the mech. Oh, in and out of the mech. It's missing it. And there. For difficult and dangerous actions, you will need to roll 6-sided dice or a d6 for a check. Rolls of 4 or plus will usually be successful, unless stated otherwise. I mean, I've not been doing so well with my rolls so far. A failed check means that the pilot was unsuccessful in their attempted action. Your pilot can push themselves to breaking point and beyond using a heroic action to pass a check automatically without rolling a dice, using a sync bond slot. The pilot should make a presence check anytime they try to convince an immediate or intimidate another character using their perception or deductive reasoning. But anytime your pilot requires physicality, for example, performing a feat of strength or dexterity, they should make a body check. So here, this way you do it. Here's presence and body. And both of those will be at 0 unless they are modified by the mech or by their temperament. Right, yes. If the pilot would take damage, apply the appropriate amount to their mech shielding. Oh, so this will be here. Okay. Instead, this represents the pilot's injuries affecting their capabilities when re-entering the mech. In the AU, it is customary for the pilot to exit their mech when entering a settlement. Your pilot will also likely do this when trading or engaging in face-to-face interactions in a safe area or areas. When exiting the mech, the machine's iron core will and emergent personality will take over, but still obey commands remotely. So here we have a presence check. Roll a d6 and apply your pilot's presence. A roll of 4 plus is a success. An unmodified roll of a 1 always fails, and an unmodified roll of 6 always succeeds. A body check, so the same thing. Roll a d6 and apply your body modifier instead. 4 plus is a success. Unmodified roll of a 1 always fails. Unmodified 6 always succeeds. And then we have the heroic action. So when you fail a check, they may use a heroic action and instead automatically pass it. This counts as having a sing bond slot for that day. So yeah, you would spend that point. Nice. And straightforward enough. I quite like that. Also, I do like the highlighted of the blue stuff. We talked about this before with that other game, which name has completely escaped me. It looked like the other week where it would highlight the words, but I think here maybe having sync bonds, maybe just double checking all the things that have been highlighted. I would probably put this in a box actually myself rather than like have the plus signs. All right. How are we doing on time? Okay, I've done an hour. I've got 45 minutes. So doing okay. So piloting your mech. When exploring spaces between settlements or in combat, the pilot will almost certainly be inside the mech. Mechs stand between 20 and 30 meters tall, but will happily reach down to allow their pilot access. When left to their own devices, they can revert to their specialization. They're capable of short-range flight, traveling up for up to a minute at a time. Mechs carry out great feats of strength and speed. They may be called on to complete particularly difficult or challenging actions, requiring you to roll a six-sided dice for a check. Rolls of 4+ will usually be successful, unless stated otherwise. The mech should make a brawn check anytime they are carrying out a difficult action, relying on its strength or toughness. For example, holding up collapsing buildings. Anytime your mech needs to react quickly, for example, dodging out of the way of a falling rubble roll, is a reflex check. Roll a reflex check. It needs a comma there, doesn't it? The mech's ion core may communicate with the pilot through the voice channels, synaptic resonances, or even projected personifications of holograms, sometimes appearing as talking animals. Ooh. Perpetual motor drives feed off the mech's movements, yielding a nearly limitless power supply. And then we've got this here again about the mech. So again, just a reminder. So I'm sure, again, what I would do, I'd put these things and put them onto like a quick reference sheet so that you would have it there. And I even might put it on this character sheet somewhere, to be honest with you. If you moved it around a little bit, I'm sure you could have it. That's what I'll put it on the back or something like that. Just so you know what it is. I mean, again, it's straightforward as a 4+ always succeeds. Exploration. So when you start your adventure, presumably, you should roll to determine what kind of environment your story will take place in, or at least where it starts. Some planets on the AU's frontiers consist of a single biome, whilst others contain a multitude of climates and environments. So let's always roll. Oh, a 5. Tropical flatland. Ooh, like that. Building a settlement. So if you arrive at a settlement, you must roll below to determine its size and composition. All settlements have the buildings shown across as standard. Roll below to generate. So we have settlement hall, mech workshop, training post, and a spaceport. Those all have to be there. Alright, let's have a look. We got a 4. We got a bustling town. So the buildings are between 50 and 200, roughly about 200 people to 1,000 people, and the settlement and amenities is times 3. Okay. Then we've got fledgling hamlet, burgeoning village, and sprawling. Oh my god, municipality. Ugh. And then you rolled the d6 for a number of amenities as shown above, so we got to get 3. And re-roll duplicates results. Every day you may visit 2 amenities. So we've got 4, which is the gymnasia. 5, a library, good library. Another 5. 6, cultural curiosity. Ah, okay, and a little description for each one. Oh, they're not in order though. Oh, they're all together. I see what it's done there. It's got these ones. So those ones are first. Oh no, they're not. They've just randomly put them together. That's really odd. And I definitely I understand what they've done. Excuse me. But I definitely would have maybe put them in boxes or put them in either this order, those ones at the top as one box, and then these ones in another order. It's just sort of mixed together just now. The settlement hall is a place where you can find local government, which, depending on the size, can be anything from the local mayor to a full administrative council. Converse with them to learn about the local goings-on. On a successful presence check, you may begin a story circuit. The mech workshops. This allows you to repair mech shielding damage for an additional 3d6 per day. Succeed a presence check with a -1 modifier to remove a single battle scar, which we've not talked about yet. Watering hole. Get some downtime and make some new friends. Maybe you can make a part-time job here in your time in the settlement. Pass a buddy check to partake in an ill-advised competition in the bar and win the adoration of the locals. Spaceports are anything from a simple landing pad to a bustling freight hub. All settlements will have some form of docking for an extra planetary travelers. for extraplanetary travel. This is where you make planet 4 at the start of an adventure, or somewhere you can be shuttled off-world from new. Oh wait, hang on. Or somewhere you can be shuttled off-world from to new planets. You can shuttle off-world from to other planets, right? Yeah, I understand now. Evening. This looks interesting. I saw the word mech. Hello, Richard. How are you doing? Yes. Hello, D20 Show. Yes, we're looking at the new solo RPG game, the mech from Parable Games called Iron Heart, which is sort of inspired a bit by Becky Chambers and a bit of Colossal as well, the other solo RPG. So we're just going through there. So I hope you're doing well, friend. What have you been up to? What are we up to? So we did spaceport. Yeah. Rest and relaxation. Sometimes ongoing crises, combat stress, and being attacked by killer mercenaries can get a bit much, and you may just need to put up your feet. Cafes, spa days, and holistic realignment days, oh wow, can help ease a pilot's wary mind. Gain a single temporary sync bond point that can only be used once. Gymnasia. Sonic pools, free weights, and anti-grav tracks are all ways for you to hone your body for the demands of the open road. Pass 2 body checks with a -1 modifier to increase the pilot body by +1. Nice. Just prepping the stream session 0 of our new stream expanse campaign. Oh, fantastic! Oh well, best of luck. I hope it goes well. That's exciting. I'm guessing it's a homebrew campaign rather than anything scenario. Like I know you tend to do your own homebrew stuff, so that's quite exciting. Oh, good. And then we've got the library, so tomes and records covering everything from interstellar histories to academic texts and trashy romance novels. You may add a +1 to single presence check of your choice. And also, it would have, I think, this quick start, and this is the thing, I did download the latest quick start, or the one that's linked from the back kit today, just before the stream. So I've not got like a really early version that's not been looked at. Yes, we're going to roll up a new stats system and go from there. Oh, fantastic! I'll have the best time. So if only they'd actually looked through and actually had a quick copy edit and stuff, because there's been a few format issues, but then there's clearly been some text stuff as well. That noise gate issue is still there. I don't know. I'm gonna have to have a proper sit down and look for it. But I think I'm just not speaking loud enough, so to speak. But thanks for letting me know. Appreciate it. Cultural curiosity, local landmarks, artworks, or relics of a forgotten time dazzle and inspire visitors with splendor. You may use one free heroic action without it using a sync bond point. Trading post. Roll on each of the below tables once to see what stock is available. Your mech can swap one of the existing weapons or auxiliary systems for one of the following. A higher level mech will have access to a third weapon slot, may install a new weapon. Oh, I see. Okay, let's have a quick roll, shall we? Let's see what we get. Oh my god, 6. A power blade. Oh, I see. Right, yes. It's just the same things as before. Nice. Interesting. When traveling between locations and settlements, you have the chance of encountering other travelers, for better or for worse. Roll a die. It should be roll a die, right? It shouldn't be roll a dice. Once, whilst traveling between each location and on a 3+, you have an encounter. You may elect to miss encounters after finishing a story circuit node. Determine what the encounter is by using the following tables, and think about how these might tie into your pilot's past or goals and how they feed into the story. Quick roll. We have a 2, so it's a friendly encounter we've got, but we've also got mysterious and hostile as well. Friendly encounter. Traveling. So we've got. Oh, I see. We could then roll for each individual one. Oh, that's quite cool, isn't it? And again, I quite like how this particular table it's spread out. We've got like 2 columns and then 3 entries for each one. So 1, 2, 3, and then on the right hand side 4, 5, 6. I quite like that. It seems, again, the boxing of it I do quite like. It's very simplistic, minimalistic. So mysterious encounter. An adventure. Oh no! I don't know why I'm reading them out loud. So we've got the other table, which is mysterious encounter, and then hostile encounter. Oh, look at that artwork. Great. Okay, then going to combat. Gosh, we're racing through this, aren't we? We've got... Oh, we're doing all right for time. That's okay. So combat takes place in rounds which repeat in the order shown below in the combat rounds section. Combat rounds continue to loop round until your mech is disabled or enemy mechs are disabled. One party disengages or both sides agree to stop fighting. Maybe what I do here is like spread it out into like oh sorry, I've got a minute, colon, and then have like bullet points to actually give all the different end conditions that we could have here. A mech is disabled when its shielding drops to 0. At this point, it can no longer move or take part in combat, but it is not destroyed. Before combat starts, you may try to intimidate or reason with your opponents, but only if they're capable of communication. Successfully passing a pilot presence or a mech brawn check results in no combat taking place. You may also talk to your would-be opponents. What would they say? Would they continue to be hostile in the future? That's always good to know. You can always try and be like, no, we don't need to fight. I think that's quite important. So, starting combat. Roll a d6 to determine who has the initiative for the duration of the combat, and this will decide who attacks first. 4+, your mech has the initiative, and apply your mech reflex modifier to the result. All the enemies attack at the same time. So I'm guessing then your mech goes first, right? That's what it's saying. If it's a 4+, you go first, and then the enemies go first rather than the other way around. So combat round, we have the range step, the melee step, and the disengage step. Combats with the combatants, with the initiative attack first, followed by the combatants without initiative. If they have not yet been disabled by incoming attacks, that's with the range one at top, and the melee is the combatants with initiative attacks first, followed by the combatants without initiative using melee weapons if they have not been disabled by incoming. So if they have initiative, oh, I see. So it almost splits it up into 2. So you have the 3 steps and then almost 2. Interesting. Oh, I get it. Okay. And then the disengage step, you may wish to attempt to disengage to exit combat and move back to the exploration phase of the game, or begin the next combat round with the ranged step. Then we've got attacking, defending, disengaging. Okay, so if it's just that simple in terms of like combat rolls, that's really good. It makes it so much simpler, and it makes sense for a solo RPG on that front as well. So attacking, your mech has a number of attacks based on its level, and each round of these it can be split between range and melee steps as you wish. If you opt to make no attacks in one step, you receive a -1 to defending rolls in that step. You can only use ranged weapons in the range step and melee weapons in the melee step. During each step of combat, roll a number of d6 equal to your number of attacks, splitting them between the enemies as you wish. So I think normally we have like 3 attacks, it said. Each 4+ equals a successful hit with the weapons you choose to use, and does damage as shown in the weapons profile, which we saw earlier. On an unmodified roll of 6, you score a critical hit and apply a +4 damage to that attack. Apply your mech brawn to the melee damage. Oh, okay. Again, straightforward enough. Note that mech combat is a flurry of constant movement, so assume all ranged weapons are within effective range of the enemies. Easy enough. If a mech has no usable melee weapons, i.e. because of damage, they can use the following profile for melee attacks, so using their fists, essentially, so an unarmed strike, which is going to be a +3. Then we have defending, so enemies can make a number of attacks in each step equal to their threat level. Roll a d6 for each attack made by an enemy. On a 4+, you successfully defend yourself and receive no damage. On a failure, you receive damage to your mech shielding, which we said was here. Yeah. I think that mech shielding, it's not centered, is it? Slightly up a bit. Roll a d6 for each attack. I've said that, haven't I? Equal to the damage shown on your enemy's profile. On an unmodified roll of 6, you deflect the damage back at your attacker, and they suffer half the damage they would have dealt to you. Nice. Okay. Disengaging. If you wish your mech may disengage, roll a d6 and apply your mech reflex modifier. On a 5+, your mech successfully disengage. Okay, so it's a real risk to do that. Why would it? Is that your whole turn though? If you disengage, so you attack. I guess no, you can attack. That's the combat round. So you do your attacks, and then maybe you can disengage at the end. Okay. Very good. That I love. So good. This art. So bright. And you can tell it's also like that again. These sort of like I don't know what the technical term is for it, but that idea of motion and movement through the image. You can see the waves of like the sonic sort of waves coming through as it's doing stuff. I love that. It looks so good. All right. Using the iron core. Ooh. So mechs use AI programming known as the iron core to adapt and learn over time by synchronizing with a pilot through emotional interfacing. Prolonged synchronization will see neurological change, not only allowing for huge leaps in piloting control and and the execution of almost impossible maneuvers, but a stronger bond between the pair. As the bond grows, the mech will begin to grow a personality and a character of its own, moving beyond being a tool for war, but a trusted companion. Pilots can overcharge their mech systems in moments of stress, yielding a substantial boost to power output, but at a risk of their own synaptic pathways. You can engage the iron core in exploration or combat, each time picking one of the actions from the next page. A pilot can safely engage ion core a number of times equal to the psionic bond points on the character sheet. After the action has been resolved, roll a d6. On the result of a 1, the mech shielding suffers 2 damage. Oh, okay. Fair enough. A pilot may exceed the number of times... wait a minute. Ugh. A pilot may exceed the number of times a day they safely engage the ion core, but automatically take 1d6 plus 1 mech shielding damage for every point they have exceeded their sync bond points. You regain all sync bond points at the start of every new day, or a single sync bond point. Another rogue S there, by allowing the mech to revert to its specialization. So my quick question: did it say how many sync bond points we get per day? Does that depend on something? I'm gonna go back and have a look. I feel like it's important because we get. I think do we get up to 6 a day? Feels quite a lot. Begins at 2. There you go. So okay, so we get 2 at the beginning, and then it increases. I see. Okay. Oh. So here are the actions we could do. Heroic push. So when the mech fails a mech brawn or mech reflex check, they may instead automatically pass it. Shields, full power, increase the mech shielding by 3d6, may only be used once per day. I will save you. If another being would come to harm within the sight of the mech, they can intercept it, suffer 2d6 mech shielding damage, but they protect the other creature, person, or mech from harm. I won't miss. Use this ability at the start of a combat round. You can only attack in the ranged step for this round using one weapon. Double the number of attacks you make with that weapon this round. Meteoric Thunderstrike. Use this ability at the start of a combat round. You may only make one attack this combat round using one melee weapon. During the melee step, this attack hits the target automatically and adds +6 to damage. Woohoo! Brutal. Evasive maneuvers. Use this ability during the melee or ranged step. For the duration of that step, you cannot make any attacks, but all rolls to defend you are successful on an unmodified +2+ roll. Oh, that goes down from before, so that's quite good. Lightning fast reflexes. Use this in the disengage step after successfully disengaging. You now have initiative for the next round of combat. Mech quirks. So your mech ion core will develop idiosyncrasies over time as it interacts with your pilot more and more. These will create some interesting contrast with your pilot temperament, with the mech balancing out your pilot's worst impulses or vice versa. We've got here the Revenger, the Gallant Protector, or the Beacon of Calm. Let's have a roll for it, shall we? Got a 5. So Beacon of Calm. The mech has achieved digital serenity. Rerolled a failed pilot check, presence check, while in the mech once per day. Excellent. Oh, very good. So we've got mech damage. So your mech will sustain damage during combat, simulated, not stimulated, simulated by your remaining mech shielding. Your mech has a maximum mech shielding at the start of the campaign, which can change up by leveling or upgrades. If your mech is reduced to 0 mech shielding, your mech will be disabled and unable to fight. Perhaps your mech crisis systems engage in boosts out of combat, or your enemy will glow whilst you're trapped in place. Your mech will take one of the battle scars as shown below. So this is what's talking about battle scars. Where is it on the sheet? Do you have any battle scars? There, they're here. Interesting, there's a box here. It's not one big box for some reason. That's probably a mistake. They should sort. Your mech shielding can be repaired at a mech workshop in settlements for 3d6 points a day every day you stay there. After a full week, the mech will return to full mech shield. So, what we've got? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've got 4 different levels of battle scores. So I'm going to have a quick roll. Let's see, I've got a 5. Countermeasure failure. Flares, launchers, jam, servos grind, and shield generators stutter when you need them most. Maximum mech shielding is reduced by 5. Well, that's quite brutal. Ocular misalignment. Targeting octaves struggle to focus and rangefinders malfunction in the heat of combat, so apply a -1 to hits on a single attack dice per combat round. Decide before rolling. Interesting. Okay, those are quite good, and they seem fairly straightforward, I think. That's quite a sad one. They're not dead yet. Your mech's ion core withdraws into itself. Can you detect a crisis of confidence? Your mech loses 1 mech quirk or 1 synchronization level. Oof, that is pretty brutal. Pretty brutal. And then we've got enemies. So opposing mechs can come in all shapes and sizes, from weaponized transport vehicles to high-tech private military units. An enemy's threat level represents how much danger they pose to your pilot, but also the number of attacks they can make in each combat round. So, for example, a Zen Nerf Trooper has a threat level of 1, so it makes 1 attack in the ranged step and 1 attack in the melee step. Okay, so when it says 1, you can do it on either of those steps. Note that enemy mechs may be built based upon different templates. If you wish to roll on the table below, on the below table across to see how they are constructed. What? Some weird wording there. Hello, Super Dylan. Hello. Nice to see you here, my friend. How are you doing? Very excited for your Kickstarter coming out. That's very exciting. Glad it's all coming together. What have you been up to? Kieran says, I wonder if having 2 smaller boxes might be one for the title of the scar, etc., and one for a quick description of the effect it has. Let's go back. Yeah, I think that's quite fair, actually. So you have it on like 2 columns, and then have like the numbers, the title, and then what it does. I think you're right. That'd probably be a better way of reading it quickly. And when you search it, I do think tables are important in that sense. I mean, tables are important. We've got ones here about rolling for the enemies. We've got the suits. Oh, wow, these are great, aren't they? They look so good. And so all the different stats here. And then the story circuits. Oh, we're almost at the end. So what we've got. So this is a brief introduction to the story circuit, the gameplay mechanic for Ironheart's narrative progression. Each story circuit is broken into 6 parts that the players can pursue, ultimately leading to a dramatic conclusion. They all contain multiple encounters that you have the choice to move through sequentially or select a few based on random rolls. Once you've completed 3 events in a story circuit, you can play out the finale as instructed and close the circuit, allowing you to move on to another adventure and continue. Allowing you to move on to another and continue your adventures. Many of the story circuit's events will ask questions of your character. These are designed to act as prompts and guidance for journaling for the journaling that you experience. Answer them in the way that you feel your character. And so to get started, roll and start the circuit, which draws you to. So this is the example that they give you. You've got the mech circus or protecting the herd. So these are the 2 that they've given you for this quick start, which we've not really looked into too much. It's going to go into them there. So I want to just read what this says. pilot tips for the mech specialization. So make sure to remember your mech's non-combatant specialization can be used in many situations if you are creative enough with it. In situations where you judge your mech specialization would give you an edge, add a +1 to the relevant check. Make sure to journal how you utilize your mech's powerful piece of specialization to help out or overcome a difficult situation. All right, so this is one of the quick start then story circuits. I quite like that it's given to. I actually didn't expect them to give us 2 examples. That's quite nice, and it means that you can just it's going to be different every time you play. You might play something else, so your experience is going to be different compared to other quick start people playing the quick start. So I'm not going to read them out. I'm going to let you folks read it out. I'm just going to check through and see if there's anything else. It looks quite it's quite short as well. It's usually roughly about 3 pages there to do the story circuit. It totally makes sense as well. I think very straightforward, 6 parts, and if you want to finish them all, you can do, or go to the finale, you can do. That's quite good. Again, no alt text on these images, unfortunately. And then Herd is the second one. A cowboy sort of mech. Love that. Really love that. Such great images. And that final sort of image. Yeah, follow us here. And the links work. That's good. And you can go to the website as well. That's pretty good. That all works at the back. And then we've got the back page. So there you go. We've finished our read through of Ironheart. Let's head on back and let's discuss, shall we? So what do we think of Ironheart? Solo mech exploration game. I think for the quick start, I think there's a lot in it. I think it's good. I think the artwork, gorgeous. I think Ben Alexander has done a really good job here. And I really feel those feelings. I know I keep going on about Becky Chambers' Wayfinder series and Colossal. I think this has come through here really well. I think I actually quite like the setting quite well. I think it's just, it gives us like a little taster into that, which I think could be really interesting. Just like Colossal as a sort of mech game itself. That has a very interesting setting. This is very different. One thing I would say, it would be, and I know it's just because I'm really bad at pronouncing things, it would be cool to have like a pronunciation guide of those lineages that we saw, just to be able to play them a little bit, and maybe some examples of settlements, because obviously you can roll them all up and stuff, and that'd be very exciting, but actually it would be nice to have some examples just to go with. Looks cool. I've downloaded it. Maybe it'll get me into solo gaming at last. Oh, fantastic, Rich. I'm very glad. Yeah, try it out. I mean, maybe something different from your Expanse game, perhaps. But yeah, I think it looks very good on that front. Oh, I don't know this game. Yes. So yeah, this is for Parable Games, Super Dylan. This is if I might have spoken to you about it before or something like that. But yeah, Shiver is their flagship like horror RPG. They're starting to branch out into doing solo RPGs, and they've done Don't Play This Game, which we've done here on this channel, and then this is their latest one that's coming up in a couple of days' time. Yes, very different vibe. Yeah, it's just really nice. I like it. I think, again, like I said, I'm very envious of Ben Alexander's like artwork. Like if you look in Shiver, all the artwork there. What's great about Shiver, which I know is not this game, is that it's a horror RPG that you can play any horror RPG. It doesn't matter about the time period or what kind of stuff you have it. And so when he talked about the artwork that they did for Shiver, he was like, right, I want to make artwork that no matter what horror game you can play, but I can play witch hunters in Victorian England, or I can play space aliens, etc. And so you can really see that in the art, and I think you can see it here as well. I think there's lots of ideas. Almost has almost like a Studio Ghibli kind of vibe to it as well, as obviously with all the sort of the influences like the Gundam influences as well. I think the mechanic is so straightforward. It's just a D6, 4+, you succeed. I think easy on that front. I think the thing that's let it down a little bit, unfortunately, is the if only they had read through one more time and just caught the little bits of the tiny bits of like the errors in text, the typos and stuff like that. It is such a shame, but it's one of those things where again, it's just I think because in 20 days time when it comes out on the backstart, I think people are going to obviously easily fund it. But I always think like if you going to put out a quick start like this, which is really a work of love and stuff, like you just always get somebody else to double check it. I know it's very easy for me to look through and be like here. But I did do content creation for academics for like 10 years, so now I'm like I always can see spaces and stuff like that, and yeah, it's just one of those things I think. But yeah, I really like the style of it. I think it's very straightforward. It feels like it's been written for, again, I think not necessarily a younger audience. I don't think that's not what it's going for here. Like, I think it's more for people getting into solo role-playing games. Because that's something that's definitely expanded since COVID and the pandemic, is that people getting into solo role-playing games. And so having stuff like this, which is not Lancer, which is not Salvage Union, which definitely feels more gruffer, like that Borderlands sort of vibe to it. This feels more like Iron Giant, right? Which I'm surprised isn't on here, but maybe it's one of those things that I can see the Iron Giant in it as well. Yeah, I do. I feel like, I don't know about I like the boxes and stuff like that. I'm not sure about the blue and white text per se. It feels like, I don't know, the pinky peachy colours look much better, maybe for reading and stuff like that. I thought the font size was quite good. I think the font they've used as well is quite good. I always do wonder, what font do people use? Does it say here? No, it doesn't. I'm always curious, because I'm like, oh, why did you settle on that font? So it'd be good to know. And I do like the blue of it. I think it works well. Again, on screens it works well. It's one of those things where you think about in printing, like that's a lot of ink to use on a physical book. So is the physical book going to have lots of printing of blue sections to it? Because we had a couple throughout. Very different. Locus from Cobblepath has taken a similar approach. Horror Talker. Well, it's funny you say that, Rich. I appreciate you have to shoot off. Have fun. But we're doing Locus tomorrow, actually. So I'm very excited to do that. But yeah, have a good stream, my friend. Have fun. Yes. Yeah, I think overall incredibly straightforward. I think, yeah, maybe I'd do another copy edit or another run through it and be like, because it constantly says like you're a pilot and you're going to make a mech as well. It says that about 4 or 5 times in the first 10 pages, and I was like, yeah, I get that. So maybe just copy edit down a little bit. I think it makes good use of the space as well, compared to some of the other books we've looked at recently. If I actually, if I do 2-player, whoa, it zooms in so much. But like, I feel like every space is used. Every white space we can see is used up. There's like a bit of artwork there, so I think that's so. It looks really good. But it doesn't look too busy. It doesn't look over full with stuff. I think that's some really good layout has happened here. I do wonder if they maybe laid it out first and then commissioned the artwork. Maybe that's, again, I would assume so. Yeah, I really like it. And there's a lot, and all the artwork's really good. Even the simplistic, like the different kinds of like enemies and stuff like that, I think it's really good and very evocative. And I really love the color scheme. It would be interesting to know why they use this particular color scheme. Is it just to have that lo-fi vibes, or is it just to make it stand out to other mech solo games? But there you go. That is Ironheart. I will pop a link to it again. And like I said, if you sign up to the backer kit, because it's got about 20 days before it gets launched, you will get a free copy of this once you sign up with your email address. And I'm sure you can find it elsewhere on the web as well. Probably their website will take you there. But yeah, go and check it out. I think, yeah. Would I play this myself? I think so. It makes me think of Colossal quite a bit, which I really enjoyed reading through. And I think, again, it'd be interesting to know more about the setting. I think the Astral Union was quite an interesting setting, very that Star Trek Federation would be quite interesting. And I know what Colossal started doing with their expansion books is coming up with like settlements and planets, etc. So maybe some more options for like customizing those particular things, because the planet was like 6 options of like a D6, and there wasn't any more expansiveness on that. But maybe there will be in the full game. Maybe there will be. But thank you so much, friends. And we'll go back to the big Fiona screen. Yeah, we've finished a little bit early, which is good, because I do have other things to be doing. But I'll put my dice away quickly. But if you have enjoyed this, feel free to check out What Am I Rolling, which is a twice monthly tabletop RPG one-shot podcast where we do lots of different RPG systems and different interviews with game designers. We're currently through like a world building a set of prompts just now using Angeline Trevina's 30 Days of World Building, which has been quite fun. I'm also the host of the DM's Book Club, which is a weekly book club podcast where we talk about some Dungeons & Dragons and describe how we can improve it for all stories, not just using the D&D 5th edition stuff, which has been quite fun. We've got some new stuff coming up for that as well. And yeah, if you really, really want to, I keep getting to do this at the beginning of the stream, but I have been nominated for Best Podcast Host for this year's Crit Awards. And it runs all the way through. It's still the 7th of July, isn't it? 7th of July. So please go check them out. If anything, what I like about these particular awards, not that it doesn't matter if I win or not or anything like that, but it's just more like you can see other people's work and it makes me inspired to go, oh, that sounds like a really cool solo RPG. Oh, that sounds like a really cool one-shot series. I'm going to check that out. Because I'm one of those people who doesn't really use social media as much anymore. And so I'm like, oh, who's that? Who's this? And so it's a nice way to go and check new things out. So I go and have a look obviously that's the Google form, but there should be like a link to all the submissions and stuff so you can have a read through that as well. And it takes about 5 to 10 minutes of your time as well. And you don't need to fill out every single category to vote, but consider doing so. That'd be really cool of you. All right, my friends, my lovelies, we will be back Thursday for another Too Long Didn't Read tabletop RPG. She's just trying to find it. We will be looking at, Locus, which Rich was sort of quickly mentioned in the chat. I was like, you know it's happening. Which is a horror RPG that my friend Liz recommended to me because she picked it up at UK Games Expo, and I'm like, absolutely, what is this game? So we'll be doing that on Thursday. I'm then going to move my Friday stream, I think I said at the top of this, the Woods at Lights Hollow. We're going to move it to next Wednesday because I've got a few admin things I need to get going on Friday, which is exciting, but like I said, my partner will be working from home as well, so I don't want to disturb him on his work as well. And that's it. There's a couple more things coming up in the week, but I will see you on Thursday. Play more games. Have a wonderful rest of your day wherever you are. And I'll see you soon. Stay safe, friends. And industry. Bye.